Um, I discovered that he's doing a lot, especially when it comes to creating awareness. I think when it comes to mental health, as Ghanaians, as Africans, we take it for granted. If you're referred to see a psychiatrist, you are tagged as either mad or crazy or something. But many may be suffering from serious issues, and all you need is to talk to someone. Sometimes I get patients who come, and when you examine them, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. But when you start engaging them in a conversation, you end up talking about other things, about politics, sports, and then they'll open up gradually about their family, and they go back changed. And so I'm sure he's going to teach us a lot. I'll just introduce him properly. So he's a specialist psychiatrist at Pantang Hospital with over a decade of experience in the mental health sector. And Dr. Malug is the current vice president of the Psychiatric Association of Ghana. He's also a member of the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons, and he holds a master's degree in public health from the University of Ghana. And he's also an academic and teaches at a number of tertiary institutions, namely Radford University College, East Legon College of Health and Wellbeing, Kintampo, and Accra College of Medicine. And so he knows a lot when it comes to mental health. So please let's pay attention and ask a lot of questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I don't know, can we clap and so Doctor, we are paid for the kind words. Thank you. So, my name is Yenusom Maluk. Okay, great. Okay. Like he said, I'm a psychiatrist. I'm happy to be here. I was here a couple of weeks ago, and we discussed depression, the silent enemy. Okay, just to be sure I work within time. Let me have my phone by myself so that I can work within 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So today we are going to talk about technology and its impact on our mental and family health. It's a very important topic, as we shall get to know. Anyway, so there's an organization that I run, the Mental Health Institute, which is focused on mental health. And these are the things we do: advocacy on mental health, corporate training on mental health, like churches, like what we are doing right now, etc., etc. This is the outline of my presentation. We look at the end of the day, after the 20 or 30-minute discussion, what is our objective here? And then the outline is there. So by the time we leave here, or by the time I'm done, we should be able to understand the effect of technology on our mental health. It goes without saying that we will all understand what technology is. We should also know the impact of technology on our family health, and to also learn strategies to maintain balance in this era of the fourth industrial revolution. Hello. I'm sure you have all heard of the fourth industrial revolution. If you didn't know, today we will get to know. So those are my objectives, 3 objectives. When we are done, we should be able to know how technology can affect our mental health. We should be able to know the impact of same on our familial well-being, father, mother, kids, etc., etc. And we should be able to learn strategies on how to maintain a balance in this technological era. So, as you can see there on the screen, we've gone through various ages. Currently, we are in the revolution we call Fourth Industrial Revolution. all the other three revolutions, the Western world was ahead of us. But for the fourth industrial revolution, we are at par with them. So we'll get to know more about that. So for the first industrial revolution, that was in the 18th century. It was mainly about mechanization, steam power, etc., right? Then in the 19th century, we had the second industrial revolution, which was more about so with the second industrial revolution, we're looking at more of like what you and me would call industrialized industries being set up and producing products, etc., right? But at that time too, electricity was discovered, so it helped to produce more of these products, whether agri-products, whether industrial products. Yes. In the 20th century, mid-20th century, computers were being developed. Electronics were also being developed or discovered. So it helped to make these industrial products much more produced in larger quantities and much more accessible. Automation, computer, and other electronics. In our current settings, in our current world, we are in what we call the 4IR, Fourth Industrial Revolution, whereby it's just about the internet. Everything is internet. Right now, when you go to any hospital, we are using computers. We call it electronic medical records. When you go to the bank, everything is computerized. You can be here and you can withdraw your money in America. Someone can send money from you from UK to Ghana. Everything is internet. And artificial intelligence now, that can analyze everything you want. So we are in the internet age, the fourth industrial revolution, whereby there's rapid advancement. There are young people in Ghana here who are making so much money by just use the internet. Mobile solutions, etc. Our kids that are being born, they are always on their tablet. I'm sure you all know that. They are watching the same cartoons as the kids in the UK. Peppa Pig, Coco Melon. Hello. I'm just trying to let you appreciate what we are talking about here. So that's where we are. So the topic is mainly about this current era and its impact on our mental health. Okay. I'm trying to balance the train, but I'll see where it will come in. Okay. So, like I was just trying to elaborate, this current revolution that we are in has transformed how we live, work, and connect. But it also brings challenges. The tree is not coming today. So sure to say phones, tablets, you used to say, and internet, social media, no, are affected the way yet here, any baby. Oh, sorry, our first thing say social media, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok. I like TikTok, so I like social media a lot, and these things can bring a lot of challenges to people. Etimeha unkrofo. Omo adwen nkrofo nijemu ene etime man nkrofo nya araho ebi suit me nya enije so post baby egu Facebook so na obi ambe ma like but won say there as a uraho that's nkrofo ma like na we ni age. So this is what we are talking about, how it can affect our mental health. There have been studies that have shown the link between technology and our mental health. Research, I won't say technology you can watch them no. Etimi ha ya dreamo. One study was done, and this study showed that technology can positively and negatively impact adolescents through the use of mobile phones and social media sites. Nkrofo bi research by omo hu say technology to say social media, mobile phones, any internet games no, it may affect nkrofo mental health. In this current world, most boys are doing internet gaming, betting. You don't no more need to go to the roadside and do lotto on your phone. Pastors are doing it, ladies are doing it, men are doing it. Yeah. Me addiction specialist. No, I was advising one young man. He owns a pub. So we're just sitting down chatting. Say, Doc, this is my pub, no. Betting, it's a kind of be a pub, no. And I mean, betting, I'm here simple. Me share all the countries. Now I share top teams. Now I betting also. So Doc, so bet me I try. It was tempting. So please, let us. So about to remind myself, but hey, I'm the one who counts people who start here. Like joke, like, but I realize you are in it. So I had to restrain myself. Anyway. So it can affect us positively and then negatively. Let's look at the fourth industrial revolution again. Say, share TV news. Technology is all about cyber security. Computers all over. Cloud computing. So pictures is here. Google Photos. It may cost in the cloud for you. But our phone, whatever. Later on, you may have access to it. Banks are a war currently, and companies. More information are shared in the cloud. That's the current era that we are. That's what we are talking. The fourth industrial revolution. Mobile phones. We use for so many things. I can write a letter with my mobile phone, sign it. Some students are in Kumasi. They were able to send me their project work for me to sign on it. They didn't need to travel and come. I just send my digital signature, and then that is that. So when machine learning, 3D printing, internet, etc., this is why we call the fourth industrial revolution. That is what we are talking about and how it can affect our mental health. Hello. I'm Pacho. You see technology, then I hear technology. Because some people say technology and our mental health, how it is impacted. Technology, is derived from Greek. Greek here, Greece for Kasana or Mokano. And most languages or most terms in English are derived from Greek. Techne, it means art or craft. In the ancient times or historically, now you say technology, now and yet what we now see as technology. It was like a discipline on its own. Or certain things in a certain way, like an art and craft. But during the 20th century, when automation started coming, second industrial revolution, about third until today, we realize that it should just be seen as using science to help us in our everyday life. That's why we started to refer to technology in a different way. These are various definitions. We have different definitions for technology. But I could say technology is the practical application of scientific knowledge to human life goals. Technology to help us achieve our goals. Another person says that technology is the practical use of scientific knowledge to solve real-world issues and enhance human well-being. Technology as nipa. For example, I want to talk to someone in the UK. I can do a video call, WhatsApp video call. Technology. I want to teach students in Kintampo. I can use Zoom. So these are what we use technology for. And we can also use technology for internet activity, social media, etc., etc. What is mental health? Hello. But you can't mental, then mental health. WHO. And it could be at the whole world, actually upon this world. It defines mental health as a state of well-being in which you and me, as individuals, we can achieve our potentials. We can cope with the normal stresses of life. We can live a productive life. And we can also make a contribution to our society. So essentially, good mental health, you can be able to live well, and feel satisfied that you are a human being. You can achieve your potential. So the fact that you are a student and you are aiming to finish and be a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, that is good enough. Or you are training to be a footballer, that's a good step. You should be able to cope with normal stress of life. The way for someone, it's even difficult to get up from bed. And you say the person is lazy now, or yeah, but there are issues bothering the person's mental health. But for you to be able to cope with the normal stress of life, you get up, do your normal chores or your hygiene, dress, come to church, sit down, and even listen to this mental health talk. You are able to cope with the normal stress. Someone cannot even sit down. And you say the person is doing deliberately. There are so many issues bothering the person, affect the person's mental health. So that is what mental health is about. You have to achieve your potentials, cope with the normal stress of life, feel that you are contributing to society, and also lead a productive life. Now, as I say family health, what do we mean? Essentially, everything about the well-being of the family, the physical, mental health of family members. Now, let's look at the positive effects of technology. The common technological disease we've spoken about here, then social media, mobile phone, even this media that we are using is technology. Hello? Yes. You can see what I'm presenting. I can even see myself. It's technology. It makes things easier. You see what I'm talking about. Yes, I was at the presentation at Kolebu. They invited me there. One of their presentations was on telemedicine. But my talk was on addictions. Technology can help us have access to mental health service. Technology, it may why now you have access to doctors without the doctor being present. Me and Uracare. So now because of the distance, to send me 1 or 2 patients, I don't drive there. I just let them do a virtual consult. Now me baby, I'm able to talk to Obe our book is Obe Humino. That's one advantage of technology. Yes, it can also serve as a support network. In Ghana, here we are still working on it. My example would be support networks. So let me give the example. When I'm sure client be me and you bank hospital, our cantonments, the Bank of Ghana hospital. No, let me sure client offering Canada nearby. She has a mental health condition. She said in Canada, more online support groups are every 9 p.m. Canadian time. They meet to have discussion to support each other. More and more are conditional. And it was very exciting for me. So no matter where she is, she can still be able to log on and have that interaction, whether she is in Canada or out of Canada. So that's what technology can provide for us. We can build online support networks. Awareness and education. Social media has brought in access to the youth, even the elderly. So many people are on social media. So social now, most government agencies and institutions, everybody is creating social media pages. And we are also using social media to create advocacy on mental health. So yes, you see technology to create awareness, and I am for information using technology. Mental health apps. Yeah, you see technology to create apps. This is a bit difficult. To create mental health apps, it may be one crowd with mental health conditions. Or maybe going on it to see what help they can get. Okay, so technology has got very good effects. So let's see what a research showed. So this research by this gentleman and his colleagues said social connectivity, which we've referred to, is one advantage. Sense of belonging. Say, WhatsApp groups, baby. So, say, Canada, UK, but Bethel S.D.A. or WhatsApp group, you can be part of it. And you can know the echoes of Bethel S.D.A. Whether there are positive news or negative news, you get it. So you still belong to it. And yes, won't come Bethel S.D.A. But because of technology or social media. Personal contentment, self-esteem, any emotional expression control. People just go on social media and say, afa the ehomo. At times, social microphone WhatsApp status are. I just say, life is not well. Like I saw someone's status yesterday. Then I'll say, this life. So I sent a message. Why? What happened? No, I'll say, doctor, life stress says so. And I say, okay, don't worry. And then make a presentation. Join me. But now I say, why are you busy? Want to me join it. So it allows people to express themselves. Me say me was me share new dress. I never take a picture. And they are two status. So, you know. So when people comment, then you feel what good. Okay, so those are the positive aspects of technology. Looking at this research that was done. Now, negative aspects, no. Bibia good. It also sometimes has negative effects. Increased stress, anxiety, and depression through cyberbullying. Social media, one example of technology you see. Me see social media, it is WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. It's a member microphone sunya ajomoyare through that. What we call platforms, especially political platforms, and even school platforms. You don't even know yourself, so but you are fighting, arguing. It can lead to stress, any anxiety, any error. Now, you're from cyber bullies. They get happy, say, and need say, obi a possible social media so. Obe kasa atia nipano. We dey mistrem wa be body be mistrem wa is for academic purposes. Obi to say but won't name the way I be affect the person you are bullying. No. So see, bullying is no more physically. It was cyber bullying using social media way and say ukasati and crofo. Technology so to me it can affect our sleep due to screen exposure. And our kids, we should be careful. 5-year-old child, 4-year-old child, or say on that, or person use tablet, no sir. The mothers are here, the parents are here. Yes, even adults. And Ajo, 1 a.m., 12 a.m., you are on TikTok. That's what technology can do to you. As for me, dear, when the sleep is not coming and then I'm still on social media, I just throw the phone somewhere, put the light off and then a fan or air conditioner, then you go. You have to learn to break off from it. Social isolation. Despite the fact that technology to me, connected, say WhatsApp groups anyway, but most people are still isolated. And this is what happens. You can be together, even in the same house, but you are far away from each other. Because nipa prefer say call social media. So instead of say only no nipa bekasa, interacting with people is much better than social media virtual connection. No? And because we are talking about this thing, let me just add this. There's a trend among young people, Gen Z for no, more social media dating. And more often it doesn't end well. But let me move on, because that's not why we are here. But because they tend to be isolated, no, church, you don't want them, but social media won't now open. No. At the end of the day, when you now meet the person, will say you are just far apart. But you already started dating, what happens? More often than not, I'm not saying that don't date through social media, but it's preferably the interaction physically is much better. You're able to see the person, whether, no need than to go on social media, I wouldn't know. I know there when no, I said, filtered picture. I'm sure you know the filters, right? Anyway. etc., right? Negative effects will be brave. And by time, because so we'll just handle that. Uncrophobia research, there was a link between frequency of social media usage, any anxiety. This research was done among university students. And they realized that more and more you see social media, say WhatsApp, ni other social media, no, they tended to have a lot of anxiety symptoms. Another research showed this. Negative effects of technology include alienation and social anxiety, body dissatisfaction. So, who call social media? Who say and dressing camera? And look, I'm sure we all know this, especially Mano, or mucha picture, or obi a edit. And they did tono ISA. Aha. Yes. I mean, I get other things, so I get video editor to do certain things for me. So a gentleman was telling me that no, your film treatment, I mean, who will be picture? I'm sounding the same person, but different. He was explaining to me, I was like, wow. So by who picture no all the curves, who how keke that an identity with the wooden curves, no sir, is edited. It can lead you to become dissatisfied with your own body. Well, now you come, look the person physically. But you'll be worried yourself. I didn't tell me who first. And you see iPhone, no, and I filters and so was so. Anyway, etc., etc., etc. And the emotional triggers, such as sadness. And one negative aspect of technology is exposure to sexual content. Parents, let's be careful. Wow, this thing that come, I keep on saying, we in this part of the world, no, we like to take in everything. But those who brought it, no, they put in safeguards. They say, yeah, war, this part of the world, no, and we are part of the world, like Africans, no. Bibiaba, jitum. But they put in friends safeguards to protect their kids and to protect their society. Parental controls are there. What or tablet, or better have access to internet. But there's a way you can lock it to prevent certain websites from it. But you give the child, Junior J. They go in certain sites and here say, and it's not appropriate to say Akurabe also. Sexual sites. Now that age, the person begins to get exposed, but you will not have any idea. Etc., etc. How does it impact on the family health? Now, saying that technology to me affect your family, to say, Papa, ne mami, any unkrano. You'll be in the same house, but no face-to-face communication, because everybody is on their phone, and even there's a family page, so you all be interacting. Okay, good morning on the family page, but you see each other cry, you are all busy. Or daddy gets out, Ellie moves, or mommy gets out, leaves. You reach each other on the family page to reduce face-to-face communication. It is good and it's not also good. Esanso temi ha quality time and family bonding. I mean, I have 2 kids. You have my first daughter, Kezia being on one phone and Junior being on the other phone. Say, Junior, you people should stop and watch TV. They say, no, they want to use their phone. So no interaction. Or be a UC phone. And that is using laptop. That quality bonding is not there. We need to watch it. Technology can affect that. Over-reliance on digital entertainment. Hello? Technology can make us, now all our kids, so, they're 5, 6 years, 7 years, so all of them, cocoa melon away, no more quickwanasi any cacao. So there's over-reliance that can affect their family health and also effects on the children's development and parental engagement. It's important that, even though technology is good, but we need to still encourage a physical bonding with the kids. Very important. And if it was with our sorry time now, growing up, you and me were exposed to know. Let's expose them to it. But say, why are you busy? Once in a while, you can let them use their tablets and their phones. Okay? Yes. Now, having looked at the positive and negative effects of technology, what are the ways you are maintaining the balance. Because are good, but if you don't watch it, it can be negative or it can be bad to you. You need to set boundaries. All of us. So Ube agrees, say maybe between 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's when you go and look at your WhatsApp messages. Fine. And look, it's become overwhelming. I have a lot of WhatsApp messages that I haven't been able to read. So sometimes I'm looking for maybe Dr. Riafe. Then as I'm typing WI, then I see, Wisdom has sent me a message last year, June, on my birthday, and I haven't responded. So I just go and respond. I say, sorry for late response. Agree on a time that you go and have access to read these things. You can't be on it every day. Yes, 10 of the non-essential notifications. Once someone creates a group and adds you, if it's not an essential group, mute it or take it to archive. So you haven't gone off, but it shouldn't be disrupting you. And for me, platform that stresses me up, I just avoid it totally. If you tag me, I come and read, then I move on. So in few months to elections, about 2 months to elections, I avoided most platforms. Obi tag me, I come and read, and then I move on. It's so many issues stressing yourself up, which is not necessary. You don't even know their persons. Okay, so just set boundaries for yourself. Number 2, self-care. Self-care is important to all of us. We need to watch our mental health. So when we say social media no, and our technology now we use no, phone no, how are you need to watch it. And engage in things that will also uplift you. Exercising. Exercise, and hardcore exercise, no. If it's just walking about, ebwa. So what by church, just helping to pack things is a form of exercise. In your own room, you can do your few calisthenics or exercise, push-ups or whatever. Ebwa. Hobbies. Your hobbies are now. Growing up, we all had those hobbies. So hanging out with friends, I say ube watch, ube share movie, and ube back quiet practice. Get back to doing that. Wow. Than always being on social media or using technology every now and then. And also sleep well. Sleep early. And then try to wake up around the same time each day. And try to go to bed around the same time. It gives you a routine. Then the other bit is what I spoke about earlier on. Take regular breaks from the social media. Don't be on the WhatsApp every day. Once your life will be on TikTok and WhatsApp and Snapchat. Agree on a time for yourself. I mean, that's because we also need to be on this planet to know what is happening in the world. But agree on a time. It's tempting, it's addictive. But set the time for yourself and set the boundaries for yourself. Then the final aspect, connect offline. Face-to-face interactions, nyame or kreti. 3 main things was what he provided for us to help us with survival, through evolution. Eating, sex, and then social interaction. Please, let's prioritize meeting each other and trying with each other than the social media. And let's also try and strengthen the family bonds. Traditional system, it's not traditional system, even though we've all moved on individualistic. But monthly family meetings, let's prioritize that too. And not only the social media groups, that the family, let's say that we have a family, you have social media platforms, so you don't want to meet again. No, maybe once every 3 months is good. Or even once every month is good. Let's prioritize that and help to strengthen the family and social bonds. So in concluding, we've looked at what technology is. Now I said we are in the 4th industrial revolution. It's all about rapid advancement of technology, artificial intelligence. We've also looked at what mental health is. We also looked at what family health is. And we looked at the negative effect of technology on our mental health and the family health. Also the positive effects. Some of the positive effects is what we are having here, the media, the microphone. And when I was coming, I used Google Maps, so I knew that I'll get here exactly 3 p.m. because of shoot. But as I knew the time I'll arrive here because of technology. But it can also have negative effects. So let us watch it and maintain a balance there. My final words. Technology, but it should serve us but not control us. Technology, no. And you say, but not to control us. And I encourage that we should balance ourselves in terms of awareness and then the boundaries. So when we apply the strategies that I've given you, it will lead us to have healthy digital habits and encourage improved mental health and also family harmony. Thank you very much for your attention. These are my references. So, when you ask to say, what me effort technology, thank you so much. I'll take questions.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Maluk, for that elaborate presentation. I'm sure some of us are guilty, but I think there's a lot we've learned. Before I ask my question, I don't know if there are any questions from the audience. Yes.
Yeah, I saw you touched on many things. However, like he said, a lot of us are already addicted. What are the remedies? Do we have to take any medicines?
Yes, so thank you very much. So I have an interest in addictions. Now, addiction is not just about substances, but also behavioral addictions, like gaming disorders, use of internet. And even with the substance use disorder, we don't give medications per se, even though there's a room for that. We take you through certain training to let you lead a life independent of the thing you are addicted to. So in trying to guide or respond to you, you need to set boundaries. There's a clear criteria for addiction or for an addictive behavior. Maybe you are getting there, but you still have the willpower to stop it. One is allocating a specific time to go on the social media. Why not? Oh, sorry, and you think you want to spend, maybe you get to work early, so you want to spend 7:30 to 8 to read to catch up with social media, fine. But you need to set that boundary for yourself. Maybe later in the afternoon, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. or something. You need to set those boundaries. And you need to be deliberate to go offline and do other things and not just being on offline engaging with people. So you don't need to take medications per se, right? But then you need to set your boundaries and then set your limits.
Yes, Doc, thank you very much. Doc, I think you mentioned that we are growing apart, and truly that is the case. Our siblings, our parents, if we are not in the same church, I mean, we can go several months without even meeting up. But as a church, I wanted to find out from you if there are group activities. I'm saying this because coming to church alone may not meet our needs. But if through your experience and through practice, there are some group activities that you advocate, then maybe as a church, it can be the beginning point for us. Because I was just thinking, as we were presenting, when we were younger, we would come here on Sundays for youth meeting. Before you leave, your mothers will be here for women ministry meeting. Before they leave, the whole church would have been here again for Bible study. And as young people, we can have activities, during our meetings. But today, if you call the youth, they will not come. So I wanted to find out if there are systemic ideas that you can give us as a church, which we can also implement to help us. Because the most painful thing is when your brethren is going through issues, you don't visit, and you are not even an expert to help in any way. But as a church, what can we institute that members can find solace in? Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Specific groupings that I can suggest. One of it is a plenary, like you have the church service, right? And also specific programs that can lead to people coming together. It's also an example like you are having. This awareness creation or health talks. Now, about some of the youth not coming to even benefit from some of these or church activities. We might have to look at it because the world is changing. We might have to look at strategies to make whatever we do much more inclusive. So I go to church. I go to a Pentecostal church. I don't like to sit in church more than 1 hour. So I went to a Catholic school, and I was happy with their process. Within 31 hours, you are done. The only thing they sit up and, But, and then, so we should be able to look at the dynamics of our youth and make it more inclusive. Specific ones is having health talks that you can publicize that will encourage them to come. Other things is games. And exercise, I didn't talk a lot about it, but exercise has got a lot of benefits. If you can encourage people to come, you have to look at their needs, so what they expect. If it's that they are coming to watch football, and to bring them together, and then you can then preach the word of God, suggest certain things. Yeah, so we have to look at things that they like to make it much more inclusive. And not for lack of a better name, the old way of doing things. Because the world has evolved. My son, 4-year-old, can tell him that, Daddy, you are shouting at me. Yes. And I have to apologize. But I couldn't have said that to my parents. So things are changing. Yeah, so, but like, we can look at it out of my head, maybe games, the health talks, etc., right? Yeah, so.
Thank you very much. Mine is both contribution and question.
Yes, please.
It's an observation I've made. So for some of us, when we were born, technology had just started. And if my memory serves me right, the challenge with connection was not the technology, but it was the willingness of the people to connect. So for example, you have a home, you have the children, the toddlers are running to mommy and daddy. Daddy is saying, oh, please, I have work to do, and then all of a sudden, you get to teenage years and you find technology. And over there's always somebody who is willing to talk to you. There's always somebody who is sending you a message. So I think that technology is not the culprit, but the culprit is that we are unwilling to connect with each other. Because if we are willing to connect on a personal level, we realize that the personal connection is way better than the technology. And nobody will choose the worst of both. So since you are here, I'd like you to touch on how to tackle the main issue, which is, as family, what are we doing to connect? Because if we don't connect, then we can blame technology, because the question is, why would the children and even the parents choose to connect virtually? It means that there's something wrong. There's a vacuum. And I say this because, like I said, I was born when technology, started. But I can tell you that the disconnect was not technology. It was simply, for want of a better word, the decision not to connect. Daddy is busy, mommy is tired. Oh, don't come and worry me. Go and read your books. Go and do your homework. We're always finding something to push the children. And it's sad that my age mates, now one of the complaints that our parents are making is that you people don't call us, you people don't want to spend time with us. But the question is, when we wanted to spend time with you, you were busy. And so we found ways of coping with, our boredom. And the second thing too I'd like to say is that when it comes to the church, so I would like to ask you for how to deal with that. Then the second one is, I like the fact that you said that in order to get the youth, it has to be inclusive. And that's a challenge, not just here, everywhere. So the young person is sitting in the congregation and asking, what has this message got to do with me? Like, how do I apply this message to my situation? It's always the older folks talking about their problems. And secondly, my feelings are always invalidated. If I tell you, oh, I'm struggling with something, you tell me, oh, I did this small thing. Do you know what we've had to deal with? And then also, the connection starts before we enter the church. So if I come to church and you are not interested in connecting with me at the gate, don't expect that we can fake. And like you were saying, your young son, like our generation, we will say it as it is. It's either we like you or not. But the past, we can fake it and smile. I dare say that if we look at years ago, probably that connection was not real. Most people will cover their feelings. But today, we have the opportunity to say, listen, I don't like you, and I cannot connect with you. So to answer the question as a young person, then maybe old person, the connection starts outside. I can say there are people here that I connect to best, not because they did something so huge. It could be the smile, it could be the hello, it could be the handshake. So when it's time to pray, who am I going to go to? I'm going to go to somebody that has given me that opportunity. But when you see me, you don't mind me. And you expect that when I come to church, I should be willing to spend 3 or 4 hours with you. It won't work. And then the third thing is that we need to learn how to form small groups. I know in some churches they call it cell meeting or what, because we are in an era where we don't live around the church. So if someone is coming from Kaswa, somebody is coming from Hacho, and you say that we should be meeting every day, realistically, it's not possible. What can we do to form these small groups? Those of us living in Teshi, we are 3, we are 4. Maybe this particular Wednesday, we can't come to church physically, but we can meet in somebody's house and pray, because the Bible tells us that where 2 or more are gathered, He's there. So maybe we can explore that and then solve this problem. And then finally, let's be real. Let's not have this plastic waste. So my question is the first one. How do we tackle that issue of connection and not blame it on technology? Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Please, your name?
Anita.
Anita, thank you so much. I think she has said it all. I need to add more. I think, for me, what I'm passionate about is the inclusivity. We need to be really dynamic. We need to be dynamic. That one there. But who am I? I'm only coming to do my presentation. And then when I go to church and I get time to meet my pastor, we say hello. If I need to, okay, Dr. Mal, what do you say about this one? If I'm in the mood to make a critique, yes. If not, at the end of the day too, there should be harmony and things must work. And at the end of the day too, it's not about what you want, but also it should be a collective thing. At the end of the day too, every church has got its own doctrine and every institution has got its own way of doing things. And you can only find a way of, always in a nice way, pushing. But for all of us to survive, inclusivity and dynamism is very important. And to make that happen, the connection bit, we need to be flexible about how we go about things. We need to be flexible. And we need to encourage the more physical interactions than the virtual. And we need to be realistic about certain things. Times have changed. People have moved to other parts of town. So what can we do as a church? And this is above my pay grade, though. What can we do to respond to this reality? You know? So let me digress more. There was a politician who was there exposing people, government officials, and he eventually went into land, people grabbing land and those things. And he was on TV. He said that his own colleagues are telling him that the way you are, so we are coming to power soon, and you are going to send a law to Parliament saying that we shouldn't buy state properties. It may affect you. And he said something profound when I was listening to him. There have been great people in this world. Kwame Nkrumah was a great man, but Ghanaians toppled him. Gaddafi was a great man, he was toppled. Hitler started as had all the support of the Germans, but eventually was toppled. We need to respond to the times. So his point was that if we don't respond to the times by responding to the fact people are disappointed in how politicians keep buying state lands, the people would revolt at some point. So it's good we respond and not that it should always be business as usual. So Anita, even though I haven't touched specifically, but I think that as a church, we should try to respond to the times and not, still keep doing what we are. And we should look at inclusivity. The youth, they need to be included. And in the Western world, for those who have gone there, I haven't stayed there, but at least my dad and some people are. Churches are becoming empty because the youth don't want to, We need to be dynamic. I think, and if I haven't spoken into it, I beg you forgive me, but you have to be careful how you respond to certain things.
Thank you, Doc. Anita has preempted some of the things I wanted to say, but I'll go ahead and try to address it somewhat. You emphasize balance. And I think that's very true.
I emphasize what?
Balance. And I think it's very true. I tell my children, when I traveled, there was nothing like email, internet, whatever. And there was nothing like sending even faxes. So you'd write a letter. It takes about 2 weeks to get back and respond and so on. But my son is out there. We can talk virtually every day, even have video calls and so on. I'm sitting thinking, how do you draw that balance? Because everybody is sort of fixated on their small space, digital space. And I'm told that in the Scandinavian countries, is it Norway or Sweden? I can't remember which one. They're trying to roll back digital operations in their classrooms, using as much as possible the board and paper, because they think that it's creating problems they don't want to deal with. Anita emphasizes the fact that it is not technology which is a problem. Our days we called it generation gap or whatever it is described as. I mean, you get to an age and you think in a certain way, other generations think in a certain way, but you rightly hit the nail on the head. You need to be dynamic about it. You need to be accommodative and so on. So it's not one way. One needs to understand that I see things from a certain perspective. Somebody else sees things from a certain perspective. Can we sit and talk about it and gradually see how we can, through compromise, get to a point where we can all work it out together? It's not easy, but that's where technology comes in. Technology makes it easier for me to stay in my corner and you stay in your corner. So we need to consciously make the effort that we're going to break that. And if we don't make that conscious effort, then it will drive us further and further apart. Whilst we seem to be connected, we actually are driving ourselves apart. And so it is true. I mean, like she rightly said, it's difficult sometimes to bring all the various stakeholders together, but we need to consciously make the effort. So I don't think one group should think the others don't want us in. Once we start thinking that way, then we will stay apart. But if each of us understands that, yes, this is not in our best interest, we need to come together somehow. And we will need to put in the effort, work at it. It's like marriage. This morning, interesting, we were having a study and we talked about love. And we said love can be two-dimensional. I mean, the love which God expresses to us is self-sacrificing love. Whilst the typical love of our day is about what's in it for me. So if you have two people who are in a relationship, marriage or whatever, and the two people manifest the different types of love. One, the self-sacrificing one, and the other about myself. I can assure you there will be no end to the conflicts that you can generate. It will be perpetual. So what it is for each of us to get to the point where we realize it's not just about me. It should be about us. How can we work together to ensure that we deal with that, call it monster, which is working against all of us, but we think it's the other person. And if we can do that, it will help all of us. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But just back to the flexibility and also appreciating the different perspectives to things. And hopefully we can connect more. But we don't need to also burn ourselves out. The truth is things are changing. You don't always have people coming in like that. So you just have to move on. And we are Christians, so we keep praying. Pray that things would change and become better. Thank you so much.
Okay, Doc, sometimes I think the problem with society is we the graduates and the technocrats. So when products and services comes, Doc,
yes,
the hazard around it will not be tackled. You see, bibi ba we are saying, I say bibi ba we are say ba any part of our world. Yeni ye ko school ye nim ho nim de na. I'm say phones buy and start Europe and America. Dog ye twen ma ho yade no edokro ya ansana. Nti ade ne banankasa na ka ya hya ase se yeni ha no se na busuate. Because you can't the effect of technology on mental and family health are very broad. Inti uko nasa dibia yo bi fie yi a ekwan ben so na otumi ye ne fie yi. Ye ho adesua no ntem. E prayer wi a inti as and I say reactive something na yes ye. Inti ye be koso ama na di enya ana say sisi ade ne enye ade na aso ye dem obi wa asoro dem ne ba no suya ode ne fun ama no na akola na ye din ba said e woka no obey addictive to it abey kakra no phone ni ho a ontim mobra intin collaborate na ya hyase eno ntino ye ne ankasa no ese enya ye ne ankasa yesu ni eban bi eboa yen se de be a technology no on the o mesai no de wa hyehya to no na obegina so inti se de ne ye ka no abusuam ye mbompa ye mbom ye ankasa mbom yendi ehun komo a enkola no bekọ ba bia obenya saa space na ode bedi saa komo no ntempen bebre no se bibi ba wiase a ye ne ha de na etimi di ewu asomoso ma ko school asen kamo na mo kire ntem se ade we eba no say na ho tie Ghana Society of Psychology for machia mo de communicate about say phone na mo de mankola no next 10-20 years oba ono nkasa oyo bebe text amon oni society oni relationship na brabo ye technology bibia or how on few or ma sorry on ye say inti yesre mo ma ko school no mo na mo na say mo de problem na man say ne ayen ko school no inti yesre mo kwan me be fa so e be ye say the African for no ye di ehun di we believe in communism wonya aduane afre wonu oh chale fufo bi wo ho banku bi wo ho bebe didi ye bonding wo ho but mo ma ko school no sa no mo nyina no mo ye na se ye ne enko school ne sa de mo ye efe ye be follow mu ye na de ne be ye hawa na mo blame ye se ye ne de problem na ba nti dog Mr. Mo ama ko school no mo na mo de problem na ba Mr. Mo na mo nim de no na mo ma problem na be try ansa na mo be kire ho nim de
so thank you so much. I think we'll accept it, and then we'll see what we can do. I think one of the points is about being proactive. And in my presentation, these things, we accept things wholesale, but there are usually safeguards in it. Because of time, I'm being careful not to get into certain passionate topics. But technology, no. Me the kind chair historical we say, yeah, well, I did by friend, fourth industrial revolution. Where the Abrofono, they are not ahead of us in NATO. We are at par. See, our local hospital, even public hospitals. So, we use computer and our public hospitals. So, Americans, so, we phone. I'm going to WhatsApp video calls. So, now, the next thing, Mr. Mafache, government, this kind of more launch idea, your friend, 1 million coders program. 1 million coders program. Minister of launch program no, somewhere last week. So, I'm training young people, about 1 million of them, to learn how to do coding. So, I'm to create computer apps new way, you know. Abroche, China, and adapt. That's how they are also doing. So we are all at the same level. Now, in Shebe, so it doesn't become negative on ourselves. That's where you are coming. So your digital protection need account. But we don't know about all these things. So it's good that you are talking about it. Say, obi the data na loan companies, where you can sue them. But what I'm just saying is that we are at the same level with the Western world in terms of fourth industrial revolution. So let us grab it and work on it. All of us can learn coding. All of us are using technology in our daily lives. But in negative way, no. And the marker about parental control. So if you have a child, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and a woman with tablet, parental lock no. You will be able to lock certain websites, so I don't have access to it. You will be able to set 30 minutes. After that, it will go off. So I just say 1 hour, tablet, so I can't no, but I lock it. After 1 hour, now I lock it. So maybe that's where we are lacking. But see, whether one school, people are using technology on platforms. I'm careful. Where so in certain areas that I want to make a brain. On those platforms, voice notes. They're all doing voice notes. You know, and it's still part of our technology. At least the market woman on him say, even though on me type it broth, but on me then or press it on tab now or push because now I hear voice note. Negative effects no say platforms no on your voice note. Edidi watema. Udie muting no. Nafa to archive. Ebebwa or mental health. So maybe that's where we should come in. And that's why this initiative is good and we are learning about it. It helps a lot.
All right, thank you, Doc. Now for my question, I think you talked about some messages you see on social media, WhatsApp statuses, for instance, and sometimes there are some messages you see and you can tell that the person is trying to communicate something negative about themselves or so. How would you advise we approach these people? Is there a way we can refer them, or would you advise talking to them on that level?
Yeah, so I mean, that's a very important one. And that's a good thing about social media, even though it's a negative, but it's a good thing. It allows people to express themselves. You know, what do you do? Let me deal with that before I talk. Engage the person. And audience, just listen. The person wants someone to talk to. Listen. The person may want attention. And at times, what I realize about the Gen Zs is that they are targeting someone, no. Maybe, no boyfriend has no girlfriend. So, we are posting just targeting that person. And I don't know how that works, but targeting that person, expect that the person will go and read it. But please, sometimes it can also be a serious call for help. Engage the person, listen to the person, and provide the support. One of the things that my organization really like, what we call mental health first aid organizations. For example, if it's suicidal, when you see a work colleague who has suicidal ideas, what do you do? If you see a work colleague who is showing symptoms of, let's say, psychosis, what do you do? If you see a work colleague or even a church member who is having symptoms of depression, what do you do? You know, mental health first aid. But generally, what you do is that engage the person. Listen to the person, whatever the issue is. And then you try to provide help. If the person is psychotic, the person might not be able to engage you as you want and could even become aggressive. So you may want to engage a family member or call her from a senior person. And then you liaise with the family and see what help you can provide. But yes, engage the person. And then, yes, the person might open up to the person just wanted someone to talk to. So, whether work or school, you know, we are exposed to technology and we all use technology.
Look, the only thing I say, Adibi Oha, a Yinshirawa Bruchi, about Ghana. Now I said, we are Bokra, and I said, a pray. Okay. Look, I say, Nancy, meaning mental health for no, most of the district hospitals now more department. But I say, no, and who the Ubone Adeno and washroom to say, be a HIV more sponsorship or more, but I won't say, the caution there, what church in I won't say, how be brave or why, as I'm on for crochet, or my dream. Now, in him say, be a final stage now, what power honor, I am on for YNT. Dog, Oba program, I say, all my members here who say, mental health. District hospital and regional hospital or more center or to be a bit many mental problem. There against or more room who quan I say or more call Sahon intending to be a problem to me call. And a gun house on mental health problem. Nina da question here was a pressure scarcity. Only scar I say a problem dorsum. In Tiasa dream how not and what catch will be so mean to mean that. It's a ninja. Oh, there I am so sick as some of from Tina or ninja. When you scout, be fine. But on here, you're running in the question here, auntie. Mr. The Bisa no bar, no man who said, I say, between Aconia and moi, Nasa and Colani B. Cosa, how no more, yet me a bomb on tem, said a bayan called the final stage in her.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Chief, please, what's your name? So I'm thanking Mr. Dazi. Eyampa, who call every public hospital, district, regional, your psychiatric department. The current law that governs mental health practice in Ghana, your friend of Mental Health Act, 2012 Act 846. One of its objectives was that we are decentralizing mental health care across the whole Ghana. So because of that, 2015, we started pushing the nurses to all the places in Ghana. So there's a mental health department in all these district hospitals. That is true. I mean, you have touched on so many things. So overview of mental health disorders. So the fact that you say, "Oh, Ajumiyare," no interest said you. What about them? I teach, and usually when I'm starting a new class, students and I say your people. Whose people? Wow, will be that question? No cry. You might also be my person. You know? So, substance use problems, say, any buying any tramor, when red, and all those things. And you say, Hajumuyare. So, and we aim to make sure. And look, research shows that 1 in 5 people have got mental illness. And if we are about 20 here. So about 4 of us may have mental. If we are about 50, about 10 of us might have one mental disorder or the other. So obi was or out of the blue. Yeah, this happens. It doesn't matter whether we are president, we are a lawyer, we are a doctor. It happens. So sometimes stress, pressure of life can expose you to this. So sometimes when I'm with my junior doctor, I see the cases to be seen. Say, yeah, please, doctor, be careful. We don't want to overwhelm you. Why? So maybe let me take this cast and go and give it to somebody else. Nobody is immune from it too, but we have to learn ways of protecting our mental health. So that's overview mental health disorders. At a different fora, we can have that discussion on overview of mental health disorders. Etiology. Then cause adremoyaria. Is it poverty? Or use a term here? Now I say, if about a decade ago, and I'm more panta, I was doing a weekend something and Obroni be by that she was antidepressant or Abaga, so she was coming for review. And then chatted with her, I'll say, on TSS, Ghana, yes, your people who are having depression. Because on videos, we are always happy people anyway. No, it cuts across. The same way someone to ask, hey, now we always capani with I didn't know also adremoyaria. No, it goes beyond that, right? But at a different forum, we can have the discussion about etiology. But yes, lower socioeconomic status could be a contributing factor to develop mental illness. But an interest will not, how do you call it? Will not mean that you have a mental disorder, you do a mental disorder. Let me end. And yes, when you talk to me, that's when you begin to disclose confidential things. So I will end here with that. But thank you so much, Mr. Dancy. You hit the nail on the head. Yes, sir. Dr. Wiafi. Yes.
Thank you very much, Doc. I was expecting to hear about how social media is often used to convey false information and how false information influences or has an adverse effect on people. Right now, you can make any video, with your, whether it's TikTok or whatever, you can make anything and circulate it on the internet. And people will take it, and many people will believe what they see. Take it for granted that it is true. So there's a lot of false information floating on the internet through WhatsApp and all the other media. How do we help people to not to just believe anything that they see?
Yes.
Secondly, if you take a look at what you see on Facebook, I don't know what it is, but when you go on Facebook, information that you don't need just flows into yours.
Yes.
And so it does not make me use Facebook at all. If it's some information, a specific one, I just go take a look at it. But if you want to continue to look at whatever is there, you get pushed into many things that you don't need, that are forced onto whatever it is. How do we guide people in the use of these media? Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, misinformation, disinformation has become much more easier with technology. Name, please, your name? Mr. Asante Mensah. Yes. You can actually use what you just said here. You talking and then put a voice over and say that you insulted the president, and your lips will just be AI, and you don't need any, using your phone can just do that. So how do we tackle that? So it's a very good point you've made, so thank you very much for drawing my attention to it. Number one could be, and I made allusion to certain things, the notifications. WhatsApp does very well. They keep updating things. See, I idea from archive on WhatsApp, archive. Once a platform way is not helping, but you don't want to leave it because maybe one person can make us at the ultra now. Ubet me they are cautious archive. Archive, before WhatsApp, the archives are like where you put old files. So you just put archives. So you are not even bothered by it to disturb your mental health. Notifications. You can mute it so it doesn't even give you notification to go to it. Then WhatsApp too has also done something forwarded, in trying to deal with disinformation and misinformation. Once Adebi has been forwarded so many times, there's a likelihood that it could even be a misinformation. So people are just trying to create a this about it. So that's why WhatsApp, they even limit the number of times you can forward a certain message. These are all because of in responding to the situation. That's why I keep saying that we also have to respond as a people. So I'm going to give you a few examples. But when I'm going off board in terms of time, draw my attention. WhatsApp, and we all use WhatsApp. Our grandparents, everybody still use WhatsApp. My mentor, Prof. J.B. Asare, former chief psychiatrist, he said to somebody, still communicates on WhatsApp. I communicate with WhatsApp. WhatsApp has been doing updates and responding to the needs of people, including notifications, including like several ways, like this forward way. So when you want to even forward, you can't forward more than 5 groups. So instead of previous that you could forward like to 20 or 100, no, you can't more than 5. And if you forward to them, it will be, it takes to come 3 times. This one there, so many people have forwarded it. Verification. So when you see things on social media, you might have to verify. The vice president is dead. Verify. Go on the traditional news portals. If you haven't seen it, say it's fake. Then the other thing is decreasing your exposure to it. I've already said the archives and those say, look, it helps. It helps. I don't know how. So let me share a life lesson. If you don't want something, you change it. But if you can't change it, you change your attitude towards it. You cannot stop people from posting fake news. You can change attitude. Avoid them. Decrease your exposure to it. Then, sometimes I just have to ignore. So let me share this. 2 years ago, I tried to run as a parliamentary candidate somewhere. I lost Porto. Then when I came back, people will be insulting your platform. Thankfully, I put those platforms on archive. I don't even go on it. So one of my mentors, like when I'm talking, I'm saying that, hey, Charlie, you are doing well. The people did what time I said NPR. I say, but dog, so yeah, dear, what did what? I don't even see it to say I'm responding to it. So I beg you, decrease your exposure to them. So I don't even see. So when I'm still chatting with you, I don't know what you said about me. Me who yeah? I probably say what you don't know can't hurt you. Ignore. Yeah. So, but you have to also know about the settings about the apps that you use. To say Facebook, say there are ways to even control what you see and what people can post on your walls. But you just have to also apprise it. So that comes back to what Mr. Dazi was saying. We have to also educate ourselves to know how to use them. So there are ways, settings that you can do. Even WhatsApp, there are settings that you can do so that no one can add you to a group. The person won't add, just say or send a link, and if you want to join, won't join it. So thank you so much for your point on that. I had a few comments about we respond to their needs. There are people who watch football here. Champions League. I mean, we all grew up watching Champions League. You say it should be group stages, but I brought phone, and I don't like this, but I'm using it. They responded to the need to say that it's becoming boring. So they say no more group stage. Obia 32 teams, born as a league. After that, first 8, you've qualified. Next 16, you play amongst yourselves. And those who win will go and meet the first 8. responding to the need of it becoming too, So we need to respond. We need to respond. We need to respond. All of us, including me, we need to respond. We need to keep changing. And life now is a process of keep on changing. Or keep on reflecting, and then you say it's an iterative process. IT technology, maybe iterative process. You have to always keep on looking at things again, keep on making things better. I'll use WhatsApp again. They're always making things better. Or even see this microphone. It used to be with now they've done such a way that you can now do. Now see, I've been able to connect this without connecting a wire to HDMI, which is great. We need to keep improving. Cars, I have a navigation system in the car. I can just put it and I know the distance I'm going to take through it. We need to keep improving. I'm talking too much. Let me end here.
Doc Pacho, on effect of technology, especially family setting, now we can find nude and sexual way. Even among the Christians and other things, there was one time maybe sending a picture of the mass of Papa outside, the nude picture, and I could peer, sorry, what's up, so. Neji gone into ye, Sia dear say, Sa, Infonina was sending, what delete here, dog, a beer and delete. Obi also nim ye, on say, delete all, delete for me. And yes, man, in terms of family, no. Odofu was you sending a message, be I knew that. And I said, boyfriend, oh, let me see your bottles. No channel they are sending. We know what channel they are sending. That could be a best trigger. We are talking about effect of technology on health, mental. Or because we post to we invested 3 years ago, University of Winnipeg, get back committee suicide because the boy in say we jano. Into on the naked pictures now was sending on also the social media. Into dog but choko baby and our bohama young girls and young boys or don't board damn sana bibia no ye later no when you know benya prestige na samfoni no enkoye na wo baby obi so exploit or their bullying say one mama see a make you saint but you also show my
that's me that I need to make your point sir.
Okay. So with regards to the false information, Doc, my challenge has been health misinformation. Sometimes you find, with all due respect, the older folks forwarding videos about, they said you should drink this and you should do this, and they really believe it. And so I want to take this opportunity, and I know Doc is here, that we should be very mindful. People have ended up messing their health because they followed such instructions. And for some reason, once it appears on social media, it looks so convincing. Some of us think so far as somebody's voice is behind it and the person sounds so convincing, is speaking good English, then it means that it is correct information. But we need to recognize that some of these things are false. And so we should make sure that, for example, if we get information, we have Dr. Wiafe here, you can always confirm whether that information is right before you forward it into groups. Sometimes we just see it and then we forward it, and then you later on find out that it is wrong. Maybe you won't practice it, but someone else will go and practice the information, and then it will cause issues. And before you touch on what my brother said, an IT lecturer said something that stuck with me. He was teaching us about cybersecurity years ago. And before he touched on it, he said, the simplest truth is that there is nothing you put on the device or on the net that you can delete forever. So that is the truth. There is nothing, so far as you input it into the computer, the hard drive, you can go and throw it in the middle of the sea. When somebody grabs the hard drive, the person can reboot, everything comes. So if you know that what you are putting there, you wouldn't want anyone to see it, don't put it there. So that is what I would like to share. That delete is not true. Something happened in my tertiary institution years ago. Somebody sent nude pictures. It was deleted. The one who received it took the laptop to an IT person to fix. In an attempt to reboot, everything came back. So in the end, the picture circulated not by the person who received it, but when the laptop got into the wrong hands. So in simple terms, whether you are married, you are not married, don't send that picture. Because years later, your phone can get missing. You can take your phone to the repairer. You can pass the phone on to someone else, and every single thing will come back. And even our webcams, we are advised to use stickers to block it. People can hack into your webcam. Maybe you're at home, you are half naked, you are home. But somebody can see you because the person has hacked. Maybe you touched on a link or something, and that link exposed you. So in simple terms, don't put anything you don't want someone else to see on your phone, period.
Thank you. I think, anyway, so yes, the negative effects of the social. I need to thank Mr. Dazi, thank you. Sexual content, all those have been spoken about. Don't put what you don't want someone to see online. And the other thing was, nothing that has been put online can be deleted forever. Yes. But please don't be afraid to use the internet. Let's use it in a good way. Then the health misinformation. Yes, I mean, at times you receive those ones. I just see it and I ignore. So some of the elderly, they will send it to me. It's just a way of communicating. Person 70, 80 years. Doctor, you don't even call to check up on him. So if he's sending you, he say, oh, thank you for sharing. That's all. But on platforms, yes, someone can use it or apply. And that's where the danger comes. It's a bit dicey, you know. But, for example, someone would even call, there are blood groups, and then certain meat you shouldn't take certain. These things the evidence for this are not really there. Or kidney disease. Yeah, I get your point, but it's a bit, you see, in responding to this, you have to also be sensitive to how you respond to it. I get elderly people sending me, some are even professors. But yes, oh, Prof, thank you for sharing. The person just wants to communicate, you know. But thank you so much. I think the points you have made are self-explanatory. But let's not be afraid to use the internet. It has come to stay. You know, there's some person who said they will never go on WhatsApp. Now they are on it. You can't stay, you will not go. That is the system. And about posting things, there's something I want to send a message at time, confidential distance. So I've created my own sub group because I am. So for example, if I have an engagement with, let's say, Bethel S.D.A, I'll create a simple platform for myself, my 2 numbers, draft Bethel S.D.A. So when I'm preparing for a presentation, and I draft work or any communication, I'll be forwarding it. If your letter can forward this, so that I can remind myself. So when I want to forward the confidential details to some of these groups, I type draft. And I consciously have to make sure that it is what I'm saying. So I don't want to go to a platform. I can't pass a encore. So please, let's just be careful where we are sending to, and let's watch it. No matter how you are careful, you make a mistake one day. So let's just, and if when the mistake happens, it's not the end of the world. I beg you. To err is human, to forgive is divine. And what? All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Don't worry. Just apologize and move on. Anyway. Yes. No, it's fine. The strategies, but it is.
So I'm sure we have all been blessed and we have learned so much. We want to thank Dr. Malug for making time out of his busy schedule. In fact, this is his second time here. I think the last topic was on depression, yes. And today we've talked about the effects of technology on mental health. and we've learned a lot of positive effects. So technology is good, actually. I think some of us who have seen some of these developments come, the internet, WhatsApp, Instagram, a lot has changed from the time we were kids. Growing up, it was good. We used to spend more time outside, play games and all that. This time around, my son, he's 2 years old, just turned 3, but he's able to operate the phone even better than some elderly people, which is appalling. One time I took him to a playground, and he had so much fun. And I felt he was enjoying that more than when he's actually on the phone. And so I think, especially for young children, we should be intentional and make sure that they are exposed. They spend more time outside. In fact, some studies that were done have shown that Asian kids, the Asians, Korean, Chinese, they train their children to, most of them spend a lot of time on the computer, studying, and so they are very myopic because their world is just around them. So they don't spend time outside. So a lot of them wear spectacles, if you've noticed. Very myopic, yes. And so we are encouraged to, be outdoors, play outside. When you have time, you can go out to the beach, to the park. It really helps, not only with the children's eyes, but the general well-being. And so let's try and be intentional, change our attitudes, connect with families. I know now, I don't know how it was those days when there were no phones. Maybe the elderly folks can share with us. For us today, it may seem very, very boring life. There are some people who can't live without internet. If you travel to a place and there's no internet, it's like you are doomed. You can't do anything. And so I think, like was mentioned, we should be dynamic. Let's try and adapt, embrace the new technology, but use it in a way that will benefit us. Let's limit our screen time. Sometimes these social media platforms are very addictive. You may think you're just checking one single thing, and you end up spending 1 hour, 2 hours, which you could have done being more productive. All right, Doc wants to.
So, in trying to deal with that, the very moment you are questioning yourself that, hey, am I not spending time on this? I beg you. That's the time you have to put it off. I beg you.
Thank you, Doc. All right, so in closing, we'll rise and turn our hymns to hymn 8. SDH hymn 8. After which we'll ask Elder Butcher to say a closing prayer for us. Hymn 8.
We gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. Ready, sing. We gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. He chastens and hastens his will to make known the wicked oppressing. Now cease from distressing. Sing praises to his name. He forgets not his own. Beside us to guide us, our God with us joining, ordaining, maintaining his Christ's kingdom divine. So from the beginning, the fight we were winning, our Lord was out of sight, all glory be thine. We all do extol thee, thou leader triumphant, and pray that thou still a defender wilt be. Let thy congregation escape tribulation, thy name be ever praised, O Lord, make us free.
Let us pray. Our Lord and our King, we thank you so much for another beautiful Sabbath well spent with you. We thank you for a time like this. Dear God, you will that we prosper and be in good health. So we thank you for sending your Son to come and not only teach us, but then prompt us about practices that would help us reach your very ideal. Dear God, thank you, and may you bless him. But Heavenly Father, as we depart, may we make a conscious decision to focus on you, that by your grace, our mind will not stray from you. That, dear God, our hope would be in you. That, Heavenly Father, may you be everything unto us. May we not fret, and may we not want anything but you. Dear God, may we be led, and may our faith teach us to accept what you bring our way. Heavenly Father, we humbly ask that may you bless Doctor's ministries, and as he goes around to churches, to schools, wherever he goes to minister, dear God, may you water him, and may you make him fruitful. And through his ministry, may it be, O Lord, that many more people would be beneficiaries and would be saved, not ultimately from death only, but also unto eternal life. Even as we depart, we commit ourselves into your hands. Dear God, be with us, lead us, help us, O Lord, to know you even more than we do. And dear God, bless our union such that it will lead us all into heaven. Thank you for hearing us, for your family, us in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.